Jeremy Sockman here today with a look at an oldie that's supposed to be a goodie, or so they say. But what do I say about 1955's Marty? Let's take a look. Marty is about, conveniently enough, a butcher named Marty who lives in the Bronx with his mom. He's great at handling meat, but not so much with the ladies. Seems like all his brothers and sisters are married, but he's riding solo. When his pal Angie agrees to go dancing to hopefully meet Miss Maybe, Marty spots a woman abandoned by her date and decides to swoop in for the rebound. He and Clara hit it off with a walk, talk, coffee, pie, and attempted kiss.
No, Marty, please.
I like you. I've been telling you all night I like you.
Marty.
All I want's a little kiss.
No.
Please.
No.
Please.
No, Marty.
All right. I'll take you home.
The next day, Marty's mom gets convinced by her sister that the big man's gonna toss her aside for some action, and she tries to put the kibosh on the whole Clara thing. Even Marty's pals aren't hot on her, and he almost listens to them and brushes her off, only to, spoiler alert, realize that a bird in hand is worth a lot more than a sausage and calls Clara up.
You don't like her. That's too bad.
Now, Marty's pretty famous, landing on some pretty prestigious lists and even being deemed like meat worth preserving. But what was it about the story of a hairy butcher meeting a school teacher that made people go crazy for it? You see, Marty was showing us the subtle tricks of the master manipulator and how they can work on vulnerable women. Marty was on the prowl when he spotted Clara being tossed aside like bologna rinds, and he saw the perfect opportunity to swoop in. A woman feeling down on herself was the ideal victim for his wily ways. He spent most of the night making her feel like the most important person in the world, feeding her lines about his life, taking her on a whirlwind tour of the Bronx, even a bus ride. But it was how he kept telling her that she was a dog that really sealed the deal.
So you see, you're not such a dog as you think you are.
I'm having a very good time, too.
So there you are. So I guess I'm not such a dog as I think I am.
By hammering home that she was an uggo and they were lucky to have each other, he broke down her last shreds of self-esteem and landed her hook, line, and sinker. She never saw it coming either. He made sure to also call himself a dog so she didn't realize his game. And man, oh man, did it do a number on her. She could barely contain herself with just the thought of a second date, let alone second base. She waited by that phone almost all night just to hear his voice. Just imagine what she'll be willing to do for a little more. A woman like that, broken and convinced she can't do better, will put up with anything and never leave. It's not just cows old Marty butchers.
And my father was a real ugly man. So it doesn't matter if you look like a gorilla. See, dogs like us, we ain't such dogs as we think we are.
So in the end, while Marty might be celebrated by some, nowadays we can see through the player's game at the heart of it. What the big man was doing to poor Clara is a form of emotional abuse, and I just can't get behind that. That's why, Jeremy Sockman, giving the master manipulator's roadmap that is Marty a hard pass.
You got a real nice face, you know? Really a nice face. What are you doing New Year's Eve?
Nothing.
The dogs away. You got to keep the dogs away.